folks? Welcome back to the channel. This is Chris with One Dot Daily, and it's Trapper time. HT's EDC started the open tag for Trapper time this week, and I just think I'm just grateful because it's really cool. Like I said before, on Barlow Week, kind of brings the community together, and I don't know, something with the algorithm gets us all more visible to one another, if that's a thing. So this week I am carrying the thin line case Trapper that I replaced the blades in. It was a 60-40, and I replaced the blades with some 82 blade. Anyway, I'll talk about it in the video. But stick around, guys. Enjoy the week. Once again, HT, thanks for this open tag, and I look forward to seeing what you guys have got. All right, so here's what I'm carrying this week for Trapper Week is the 62-48. I got it fitting in the James Holscher Warrior Works slip there. And what this is this is the knife. This is a 40-64 knife that was, the blades are all worn down, and I put one of my first little fix-ups, I put 82 blades, 1982 blades in this guy, and it was kind of tough because the blades didn't fit, like an 80s knife with a 64. I've shown this before, but I had to recontour the springs because they stuck up. But anyways, it's a fantastic knife. I love this little knife. One that I get to carry, and I like how it sticks up a little bit. This thing was made for a single blade copperhead, the slip, but it also works really well with the slim line, and it'll go all the way down, but I kind of like seeing, I like seeing the knife stick up. But today's knife that I wanted to talk about, Trapper Week, to start it off, is, this is One Dot Daily, so we've got our 79 62-54, which is the traditional, kind of 4 1/8 full-size Trapper that we all think of, or whatever is the most popular. And this guy, it's basically unsharpened, but it does have some carbon on it, which Michael Richter sent me some info about, getting some of that carbon off of the blade, very easily. So there's a couple knives I need to try the process that he sent me to talk about. But, it's your standard 62-54, and it's just got this really pretty, one of the reasons I like the 79s is it's got the pretty bone on it, And at first I thought that was a chip, man. I was so concerned that was a chip, but it is just, you can just see the jig is totally normal right there. It just, kind of did this action here, but it did it right there. And I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it's a chip. It really, if you see it, I don't know if it shows up on here. It's just a discoloration, or they missed some dye or something. Anyway, very, very cool looking knife. And of course, I'm going to read a little bit, not too much, but this is such a epic, popular knife pattern that we got to talk about it a little bit, because it's one of the most famous most highly collectible, famous knife patterns. So let's just see what our boy here has to say about this pattern. It's a beautiful, beautiful stag knife. That's why one reason I love this book, man. Look at those pictures. Those are tested and XX era. You can see the difference in the bolsters, how they changed over the years. And the first ones had the thinner bolsters. Anyways, okay, so the basic pattern, the 54 pattern, is The legendary Case Trapper. It was always popular with knife users, and since the late 70s has gained prominence as arguably the premier case pocket knife pattern in terms of collector interest. The standard 54 pattern is a long dogleg style jack pattern with a closed length of 4 1/8. So it's a dog leg, looks like a dog's leg. While in recent years, the 54 pattern has been manufactured in a number of blade configurations, the classic and most widely used combination is a long California clip and a spade blade. The basic 54 pattern is a capped jackknife with bolsters on both ends. I thought capped just meant a bolster on the end. Somebody tell me what I'm obviously missing here. Capped? I thought that meant the bolster. Anyway, double bolsters. During the author's early years of collecting Case pocket knives in the early to mid 70s, the Case 54 pattern was not highly sought after as it is today. It had popularity among collectors, but seemingly no more or less than other named patterns like the Muskrat, Moose, Copperhead, and Canoe. The prestige case patterns in those days were the folding hunters like the 65, the 050, and the 72, along with 6250 elephant toenail patterns. So those were the ones people were into before the 70s. The 54 gained a lot of collecting momentum beginning in the late 1970s. At that time, many variations of the pattern had been documented, and the 54 pattern became the focus of a number of case collectors due to its practical size, right? So knives were getting smaller than the Hunter a little bit as we moved into the 70s. The 54 pattern became a knife that many knife clubs ordered with special handle materials and blade etches for use as limited edition annual releases. The large blades on the 54 pattern were ideal for etching. These many SFO variations fueled collector interest in the pattern. So like case knives were starting to become highly collectible and sold in that way and marketed that way. And I have a 79 single blade. This is the NKA, I always mess it up, the National Knife Collectors 1979 single blade trapper right here, which is like a numbered series that was for the National Knife Collectors Association that year. And it's got awesome stag. I did a stagger day on this one, but man, it's got like some really, really killer stag on that guy. And I don't know, it's a very, very beautiful knife. Got the pinned shield through the stag, which became sort of, 79 they stopped doing that. So I always love when I get a pinned shield. And this knife here also has a pinned shield. So let's see, beginning in the 1970s into the 80s, taste changed among the general knife using public. Fewer people were carrying pocket knives, and those who did were increasingly changing from the traditional patterns to the modern single-bladed stainless steel lock-back knives. Many cutlery companies, Case included, cut back on their lines of the older pocket knife patterns. I'm almost done here, guys. By the early 1980s, however, the trapper pattern, in particular the Case 54, seemed to emerge as one of the favorite of the remaining older patterns and enjoyed a resurgence of popularity among knife users as some of the older jack and pin patterns disappeared from the market. In fact, the author's understanding here is that the very basic 3254 with yellow handles and chrome vanadium blades is consistently Case's best-selling knife. All right, so a little bit of just like about the pattern there. You can hear, like people started using single blades and making collectors out of them. So it's like, this guy here, a single blade, which I love a single blade. I understand that. A 54 pattern like this, I'll admit it's a little bit large for me, and it isn't really the length. It's more like the heaviness of having the two blades. So a knife like this just like makes so much sense for me. And I don't carry this knife. It's just like one that I have put up. I'm also don't carry this, but sorry guys, the camera cut out on me, and yeah, I don't know, my phone keeps doing that. Anyways, I got one of these. I like the some of the stuff. The catalog number 81 is supposed to be the catalog used for 1979, which obviously One Dot Daily. I'm collecting those. And there was like some knives here that were introduced. This pheasant knife here. Anyways, I found this thing's interesting because there's actually 80s knives in here. If you look really close at the tang stamp, there's like some 1980 10 dots, but they're mixed in. Like some are the 79 1 dots, and some are the 80s, the 1980s. They had this collection here, this 1979 collection, but like I believe that this trapper that's in here is a 1980. So that's interesting about this book. But in 1979, as you can see in this special set, and these say 1979 on the blade, they introduced the mini trapper. So another variation of the trapper knife, and I believe, and this was the first year that there was a mini trapper, not a 6.2. It's on a 6207 pattern, but the trapper is defined as two blades of the same length. That's a trapper knife, apparently. Like a muskrat's a trapper knife. But I have this scrolled version of the 1979 mini trapper, and it's really, really pretty. And this guy, I don't know, this is a cool knife. Very, very beautiful stag on there. I did a stagger day on this knife as well, but just, one of those variations that they're talking about with the trapper knife. And I've got another variation, like all the way up to like current, right? Which is the trapper lock kickstart version. So it's come this far, this pattern, all the way to, I think this is a 2020 with CV blades. And this is chestnut bone is what the box says, but it looks light to me. What do you guys think? I'm not as up on the current bone colors, but this is a very, very cool knife, and single blade, easy out clip. So from the traditional pattern all the way up to here, and I've got another Trapper Lock 2 in stag, which is not a kickstart, but it's a really, really beautiful knife. It's got red stag actually, and I've also done a stagger day and a short on this, but it's a 2009, so it also has a 1 dot or a 1X, which is pretty cool. Kind of goes with the collection well. But yeah, the red stag on there is a stunner, and I've got really bad weather today, so no good light really to show off these guys. Hopefully this is doing it some justice. But anyways, yeah, I wanted to show you guys these trappers. And while we're here, because I've got the 1979 price list, I'm going to go ahead and check off my 79, 62, 54. And I hope this video hasn't lost everyone's attention yet. I just wanted to cover some trappers. I'll be covering more this week. But, okay, so it's under folding hunters up here. You can see I checked off the muskrat. 6254 basic pattern was $16.75 in 1979. Look at that. The muskrat was $20.25. Harder to construct, maybe? I don't know. Anyway. All right, guys. These are the knives. Hope you like them. I want to say one more time to HT, thank you for starting the Trapper Time hashtag so that we can all participate, show off our trappers, maybe get to see some that we haven't seen before, or whatnot, and enjoy the week, because there's something I think that, like, when we are all doing this, like, all the channels really kind of it seems like a benefit from it, and I get to see more because the algorithm, if you put the hashtag up there, kind of brings more of you guys out, and I get to see and even meet some new people because of these hashtags. So anyways, appreciate that, HT, and I look forward to seeing what you guys come up with this week and Trapper Week. All right, have a good one, guys. Have a great week.